Alright, kicking this course off on hole number 1 here. From this tee pad, you cannot see the basket. Does play uphill the entire way. Sits at around 225 feet and is a par 3, as the rest of the course will be. Sits right behind these trees here, blocking it off, as well as that big rock wall there. Alright, hole number 2 is a fairly straightforward shot. You can almost see the basket from the tee pad. You do have that telephone pole and that highline wire there to contend with, and the building, if you go off way right, can leave you real short of this hole, but this one only plays at about 270. Alright, hole number 3 here. You're up on this elevated tee pad and you're throwing down to the basket, and you are able to see it from your tee pad, which is pretty neat. It only plays at about 215 feet, and the only real obstacle to contend with is the out of bounds line behind it there with the ropes. Alright, hole number 4 here. You're not really able to see this basket from the tee pad, but it is straight ahead, and it does play way uphill, climbing up this hill at only about 190 feet. Alright, moving on to hole number 5 here. You can see this basket from this tee pad. It is a very straight shot right at it. You don't have very many obstacles except for that tree off to the right, and on just past the right on that tree is a road, which is OB as well. This one only plays at about 205 feet. Alright, hole number 6 here. You're throwing from this elevated tee pad here down to the basket, which you are not able to see from where you're throwing, to land in the green. The green is roughly a 50-foot circle. Other than that, it's pretty covered up, and really a lot of brushes, a lot of trees on every side and every direction. So landing on the green is key here. 215 feet to this one. Okay, hole number 7, another par 3. Of course, like the rest of the course is all par 3s. This one is a very straightforward shot. You do have this big giant tree here, kind of shutting off the entire fairway, really, about midway through to the basket. You do have OB lines on the left with the ropes, but other than that, really straight shot at about 340 feet. Alright, hole number 8 tee pad is back to back with hole number 6 tee pad, and it plays kind of like the same way as number 6 does, as you're elevated and you're throwing down at the basket that's completely blind to you. You do have OB off to the right there with that road coming through there, and the green is very small on this one as well. This one plays at about 250 feet. Alright, hole number 9 here. Yet another blind basket. It does play very straightforward though. You do have this hill kind of going up, forcing you to throw a little bit higher than normal right here in the middle of the fairway. You do have OB on the right side there with the road coming by there, as well as a road behind it that also plays as OB, and this one plays really straightforward at about 350 feet there. Alright, moving on to hole number 10 here. You have a really straightforward shot. Long distance though. This tree here off to the right kind of closes in your fairway a little bit, as well as that road that runs alongside it the whole way. Plays its OB and turns off behind it that also plays OB behind the basket. This one sits right at around 465 feet. Alright, hole number 11 here. You can see the basket from this tee pad, and you are forced to take this line right underneath this tree here, as it does play as a mandatory line. You do have this random telephone pole here sitting right here in the middle of the fairway to contend with after you get past the mandatory. Coming up here, it sits up on this hill. Pretty small gap here to make here with these trees as well, and this one plays right at around 325 feet. Alright, hole number 12 here. Pretty straightforward shot. You do have a few trees here in the middle right here blocking off some of the fairway. Do have OB that runs alongside the left there, and behind it this one plays right around 385 feet. Hole number 13. Off of this tee pad, you cannot see this basket right here. It is another blind one, but it does play pretty straight of a shot. Coming out to these tree line here, where the tree line ends, making it past those trees is crucial. Getting caught behind that makes it for a really tough upshot to get to this basket, and this one hits right around 385 feet. Hole number 14 here. Off of this tee pad, yet another blind basket. You cannot see it from where you're sitting. You do have these big giant trees right there in the middle, quite a few of them there to split off the fairway. You can take the left side line or the right side line. Either one is about the same width long as those trees go right down the center of that fairway. This one is really long, sits right around 485 feet to this one, comes up here and hooks hard to the left up underneath this little gap here, and up on the hill to that basket right there. Alright, hole 15. After throwing 485 feet, you get to go to a nice short one with the low ceiling of those two trees right here in the middle of the fairway at about 8-foot ceiling, maybe 8 to 10 feet. But this one only sits at around 205 feet in distance. Hole 16, you got another blind basket here, as you have to kind of go up and over these first little brushes here to get past them from the tee pad. And this one does hook right and over this way, really blind and very small green to land on here, but it only plays at about 205 feet. Hole 17, coming up to our last and final blind basket on this course. It is a very direct shot. You can go up and over these trees here or stick off to the right, and you can keep your shot line a lot lower if you'd like. But the fairway is pretty big on this one, and the green is nice and big as well, except for the OB line right behind it with the road. But this one sits right around 280 feet. Alright, hole 18. You can see the basket from this one straight ahead. Only real obstacles to contend with are this telephone pole and that metal bracket there, along with these two trees right here dividing it about 150 feet from the tee pad. And you have OB line on the right and behind the basket and on the left of it as well. This one sits right at around 330 feet.